All right, guys, we're going to be talking about vaping. Go ahead and get it started here. So, vaping. What exactly is it? Vapes are devices that use a rechargeable battery to heat a coil. This coil heats up and provides the vapor when it heats up the liquid inside the cartridge, like kind of like a juice or something like that makes it taste good. It is not a vapor as it's often advertised to be. This is actually an aerosol that you're inhaling. So think of an aerosol can. It's just canned air, and you're taking it into your body. Kind of like I affiliate it with like helium in a balloon. Like when you suck that helium in, it changes up your voice and it does something to your lungs. Similar to that, but you see this, but it's still entering your lungs. It's still affecting you. Um, so remember, the aerosols are considered inhalants and can cause both heart and brain damage, either when inhaled in large amounts or over time. So here's a video. This is a guy's vapor. If I can get it to play. Maybe not. Anyways, in this video depicted here, basically there's a guy in this elevator that is walking out and his vapor literally explodes. And you can look this up on YouTube too. But the battery in it created an explosion. So it's crazy. But that's what happens because they're literally a battery-powered little smoking tool. So who vapes? While vapes and e-cigarettes are popular among adults, there is a rising trend in use among teenagers. It was reported last year that there were approximately 3.6 million users under the age of 18. From 2011 to 2017, there was a 430% rise in use among middle school students and 894% rise in use among high school students. So that's a huge, huge deal, guys, and you're probably seeing it around you now. Why do people like vaping? Flavors. There's all kinds of flavors out there. There's orange. There's some that taste like sodas. There's regular tobacco flavors to kind of go for the older population. All kinds of stuff. It's fairly cheap to buy the disposable products. It's colorful packaging, so it appeals. There's a lot of different advertising that they use for it. And then it's basically saying not as controlled as cigarettes yet. Basically, you can't calculate how much you're vaping in a day, whereas like cigarettes, you can smoke X amount of packs or X amount of cigarettes a day. So, I mean, you could smoke way more than 2 packs a day if you're vaping, which is kind of crazy to think about. And then culture, it's all about who you're around. It's all about where you're from. People around you may do it more often than you think, or maybe this brings light to how often they really do it and you weren't thinking about it before. So some components. Nicotine. It's an addictive chemical. You see this on every Surgeon General warning. Diacetyl. Heavy metals, nickel, tin, and lead. So think about all those things going into your body. Our carcinogenic compound, which is going to possibly cause cancer. And there's other chemicals in there that's labeled juices. And that's what gives it the flavoring, but the flavoring at the end of the day is not natural. It could be all kinds of different things that really shouldn't be going in our bodies. Addiction. 63% of Juul users don't know that the product always contains nicotine. That's really crazy to think about. The Juul is something that I've personally seen whenever I was in college. They're all over the place. They're very appealing. You can plug it in to recharge it. People think, this is a more affordable way to smoke and a safer way to smoke than using cigarettes and less damaging, but that's not always true. Here's a website at the bottom here, truthinitiative.org, that you can look at, and it'll give you a little bit more information, just helping to learn how to be tobacco free. So nicotine content. Salt-based nicotine absorbs faster in the body than regular or free-based nicotine. So looking there on the left side of that picture, salt-based nicotine, 59 milligrams of nicotine per milliliter. Pods, which are not refillable, so those are your disposables that you can buy. They range anywhere from, I guess, probably $8 to $20. Now, Juul pods contain the same amount of nicotine that is found in a pack of cigarettes. So every Juul you smoke might be a pack of cigarettes. Now, people sit there and smoke their Juuls all day long, and they might be done smoking a whole pack of cigarettes by the end of the day. That's probably $20, $25 out of their pocket. Free-base nicotine on the right side is anywhere from 0 to 36 milligrams of nicotine per milliliter. That's going to be your refillable tanks. The high amount of nicotine found in Juuls is what causes them to be so addictive. So you use it, you become addicted, and you want more of it. The vaping industry. As of 2017, there were approximately 9 million reported vape users in the US, which honestly isn't a super high number, but that's continued to rise. 9 million is a lot of people, don't get me wrong, but it's continuously grown since then. You think we're in 2021 now. In 2018, vaping was approximately a $3.6 billion industry, and it's only grown since then. So we're going to look at some picks and some alternate names. So electronic devices, ends. These look like, your traditional cigarettes, cigars, and you see the pipe there, and then one looks like a Mio bottle that you would put in a drink, and then the other couple that look just like regular vapes. But we got our e-cigarettes, our cigalikes, our e-cigars, e-pipes, e-hookah, and vape pens. Hookah pens, personal vaporizers, mods, Juul, sour and drop, sour and air. Now look at all these designs. They're appealing. They appeal to different people. Like I said before, it depends on culture. Some other examples of vapes. Sorry. These look like basically a cell phone, fit in your pocket really easy. That's appealing to people. This vaporizer for ladies, it's called Lady Q, looks like lipstick, basically. So easily fit in the purse. It's appealing to just be able to grab out and smoke. So vaping and teens. 1 in 3 middle school students say they use e-cigarettes because of friends. 1 in 4 high school students say they use e-cigarettes because of flavors. About 40% of middle and high school students report getting e-cigarettes from their friends. So it's not always you buying them, but you could become affiliated with them and become addicted yourself. So looking at the difference between vapes and cigarettes. Is it a healthy alternative? So far, studies show that vaping seems to be a safer alternative to smoking, but that there are still side effects from use. If a person is not already a smoker, they should not start vaping because it is not harmless. Unknown factors. Exactly what chemicals are in vapes? Long-term health effects. Does the vape contain only nicotine or other drugs? We do know the effect that nicotine has on the body and the fact that it is not good for the brain, especially that of a developing teen. Talking about vapes in the body. A good way to quit smoking. Vaping has not been proven to help a cigarette smoker quit. Only nicotine replacement therapy, patches, gums, medication, behavioral therapy, and combinations of those mentioned have been proven to help. Nicotine damages the adolescent brain, which you guys are considered adolescents. It can interfere with memory and attention processing. Thinking about the memory and attention processing, kids that are vaping at this age may bring on attention deficit to themselves without even knowing it, because it seems like an appealing thing to do. Vapes contain carcinogens as well as other chemicals that cause other harmful effects on the body. Because vaping is relatively new, we don't know the long-term effects that it might have on the body. Similar to when cigarettes were first being researched in the 40s and 50s, we simply do not know what might happen to the body after prolonged use. Vapes in the body continued. Dry mouth, dizziness, a cough, dry skin, itchiness, and dry eyes. Those are pretty common around smoking, but think about it. Do you really want any of those? Other dangers of vaping. In addition to the dangers we have already discussed, there are additional problems that can occur. Battery explosions, which we talked about in that video that wouldn't play earlier. Other unknown drugs being put in vape and jewel pods. Effects of reproductive health and exposure during pregnancy to nicotine can lead to low birth weights. The concentrated nicotine can be fatal to infants and young children who may accidentally ingest it. Some legal ramifications. Most vapes pulled from high schools have additives, eh, basically juice, in them. Confiscated vapes are sent to the state lab, and criminal charges are based on what is in the vape. The higher the schedule, the higher the consequences. Students sent to alternative as well as facing either juvenile or adult consequences based on age. Convicted felons, regardless of the age of conviction, are not allowed to participate in school sports. So something to think about there for athletes that think smoking is cool. Um, while in high school playing sports, I mean, it's really never cool. Um, the biggest concern or unknown for students is what other drugs, juices, salts are being added to the vapes. If you're caught in possession of one with other drugs, the same consequences for that drug will apply whether you know it's there or not. So if you're smoking a vape and it has marijuana in it or something worse than that, like crack, um, or along those lines, you're still going to get charged for having that particular drug, even though you don't know you had it. Prevention and cessation. Big deals here, guys. If you know somebody who's vaping, or if you yourself are vaping, there are ways to get out of it. You can call 1-800-QUIT now. You can text QUIT to the number shown there to leave your Juul or e-cigarette. Quit now to that number there to quit cigarettes, or just go to quitlinenc.com. There's several ways, guys, that we can quit this. So, prevention and cessation. We can prevent this if we take action now. Secession is going to pull us away from it, from doing it for long periods of time, and then ultimately stopping it altogether. What are ways that information regarding vapes can be put out to the general public? Think about that. Could it be commercials? Could it be something in a TV show, a magazine, on social media? If you were to design a campaign, what kind of information would you include to either prevent someone from starting or encourage someone to quit? What's something you guys feel like is really important to you to get somebody to quit? What are specific items that you would include to target teens to keep them from starting vaping? Just think about that. It's not a particular assignment, but I really want you guys to think about that because it's a serious thing and it's only growing, especially since we've been in the pandemic because people have been inside so much and they're wanting to try new things. So really think deeply into those ideas, guys. And I hope you all have learned something, and I hope you have a wonderful day.